Good morning, Lady D. Keep it real family. What is going on? Happy Friday to everyone, and I hope all of you guys are having an awesome day so far. It's still early, but I hope you are enjoying this Friday morning. I wanted to hop on quickly, just taking a few minutes away from something else I should be doing. But I did get a copy of R. Kelly's supplement to emergency motion for temporary um, furlough. And it's only 4 pages. So I decided I'll read that for those that's not aware of the motion or haven't heard it or seen someone else read it on other channels. So it's for you guys. And here we go. It's short. It's like I said, it's like 3.5 pages, really. It's not even a full 4 pages. And this is what's happening right now. It's R. Kelly supplement to emergency motion for temporary furlough. Comes now defendant Robert Sylvester Kelly by and through counsel Bo Britley and hereby provides a supplement to his emergency motion for temporary furlough. In support of this motion, Mr. Kelly provides as follows. When we brought our emergency motion, we did so with a great deal of fear and trepidation. The reason for that is obvious. We have been we have evidence that our client's life is being threatened by the very jailers on which he is required to rely for protection. Because of the imminency of the increasing threat, we had no choice but to act now and place this matter before the court. Mr. Kelly's life could depend on it. We faced the risk that Mr. Kelly could be killed by persons who believe they could get away with it behind the shadow of prison walls. We brought a public filing and sought the intervention of this court to let them know that there is no more darkness as now the world is watching. This was the best means we have for protecting our client. However, at the same time that we brought our motion to protect our client's life, acts of violence at the behest of prison officials in exchange for valuable favors. McKen Glenn Sente revealed that he was sent to Butner for the purpose of killing R. Kelly. Mr. Kelly did nothing wrong, yet within hours of our filing, Mr. Kelly was placed in solitary confinement. He has no access to phones to call his family or his friends. He has no way to call his lawyer. When they came to take him to solitary, Mr. Kelly immediately asked to call his lawyer. He was denied that request. After no one heard from him on the evening of June 10th, the undersigned office began making efforts to determine what happened. Prison officials refused to tell him whether Mr. Kelly had been placed in solitary confinement. All they would say is that he is still housed in the same facility. After multiple sustained demands, the undersigned finally got a legal call with Mr. Kelly on the morning of June 11th. It was only then that the circumstances Mr. Kelly faces were brought to his attention. Mr. Kelly is now living in solitary confinement. He cannot call his family. He cannot eat his own food from his locker, which is purchased from commissary, which he purchased, from commissary. The prison officials refused to give it to him. Mr. Kelly has spiders crawling all. This part just pisses me off. I'm sorry. Mr. Kelly has spiders crawling over him as he tries to sleep. He is alone in the dark. I'm sorry, guys. This supplement has a few typos, and you know, if you've been with me, how I feel about that. So I'm totally thrown off. Let me figure out what they're trying to say. I believe they're trying to say he is in the dark and in miserable conditions. Mr. Kelly has not eaten since the afternoon of June 10th. This is because the only food they will bring him comes from the very chow hall about which a prison official warned him before Mr. Kelly even knew anything about McKeel Stein. Since that warning, David Keith Harris has come forward and admitted that Lieutenant Teague at Butner directed him to kill Mr. Kelly and Mr. Stein. Wait, let me go back and read that. Since that warning, David Keith Harris has come forward and admitted that Lieutenant Teague at Butner directed him to kill Mr. Kelly and Mr. Stein and suggested the poisoning of chow hall food, which is always handled by inmates. Hence, Mr. Kelly is afraid to eat that food, and with good reason. The prison officials refused to let him have his own purchased and sealed food products from his locker, things like peanut butter and crackers, and instead insists he must eat food from the chow hall. And there's a footnote. We have kept the name of this official anonymous for his own security. He requested a bag lunch, which is what is given to prisoners going to court. He was refused that. That left Mr. Kelly with no way to eat without the justifiable fear that his food is being poisoned. So he has been without food for 2 days. He cannot take his medicine. He cannot take his medicine on an empty stomach. Consequently, he is also without his medication. And what's the reason? Because he was the victim of a murder threat? That makes no sense. He is being housed in the same solitary confinement conditions as inmates who commit the acts of prison violence that he fears. He pleaded with the jailers not to take him to the so-called special housing unit, the code word for solitary confinement. Now, I actually thought when I first heard about solitary confinement was for his safety, but obviously they just being the assholes that they are. It's not for his safety. He said he was afraid to go there. He pointed out that Jeffrey Epstein died in solitary confinement. He said that he would feel safer in his room with the door locked. He repeatedly requested to speak with his lawyer. No one listened. This is not done for protection. It is done for punishment. Before his attorney called, Mr. Kelly was told by a prison official that so long as we continue this fight and pursue our motion, things will only get worse for him. As Mr. Kelly languishes in solitary confinement for being the target of a murder plot, the officer at Butner who approached McKeel Glenn Stein and David Keith Harris with directives to kill Mr. Kelly, Lieutenant Teague, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this lieutenant's name correctly, remains free to walk through the facility and interact with inmates and staff, all of whom pose a potential threat to Mr. Kelly's life. The cruel and unusual punishment conditions that we identified in our motion are now substantially amplified. Moreover, BOP officials are admittedly retaliating against Mr. Kelly for exercising his right of access to the courts. An inmate's access to the courts is the most fundamental of his rights. All other rights of an inmate are illusory without it, being entirely dependent for their existence on the whim of caprice of the prison warden. And then they stated some cases, and I will state these cases for anyone that wants to look the cases up. They're citing Jenkins versus Lane, 977 F2D 266 268, 7th Circuit, 1992. Quoting Adams versus Carson, 488 F2D 619 630, 7th Circuit, 1973. In keeping with the fundamental right, prison officials may not retaliate against an inmate because he filed grievances under the First Amendment. Then they cite Manuel versus Nally, 966 F3D 678 680, 7th Circuit, 2020. BOP officials have admittedly retaliated against Mr. Kelly for petitioning this court for redress of his grievances. If the retaliation is permitted, all of Mr. Kelly's rights, including the right to be free of extrajudicial execution at the behest of federal officials, will be rendered illusory. The imminent need for intervention from the court cannot be overstated. Wherefore, Mr. Kelly respectfully requests that this honorable court order a temporary furlough to home detention. Guys, keep those prayers coming. Hang in there, R. Kelly. They're coming. They're coming. You will be getting out of there. President Trump, I'm sure you're seeing at least the press release, and I'm pretty sure these guys have reached out to you or someone on your staff on behalf of Robert Sylvester Kelly. Please, Trump, President Trump, pardon this man so he doesn't have to deal with no home confinement. Give this man his freedom. The world knows, whether they like it or not, that our government, who is supposed to be for the people, are destroying people. This time they messed up and they tried their tactics on a celebrity, a well-known, loved celebrity. And as his attorney stated, because he's fighting for his life and wants to know why the people have done what they've done to him, there has been a hit put out on him. Free him, Trump. Family, let's continue to pray for R. Kelly. Pray they get this man his medication. Pray they let this man eat the food that he's purchased. I'm sorry, guys, that he's purchased and that's sealed. I got to get back to handling my other business, but I wanted to share the motion with you guys since it was just a few pages. Let's chat. Leave me any comments that you may have regarding this supplement, and hopefully we can chat again soon. You know me, if I find out anything that needs to be shared with you guys, I would definitely come live and definitely inform you of what's going on. But this is my latest update. Have a great rest of your day. And if we don't get a chance to chat later, have an awesome weekend. Take care, guys. Bye.